Welcome to the VarsityKansas.com Big Show. I'm Joanna Chadwick of the Wichita Eagle and VarsityKansas.com, and with me is South Girls coach Antwain Scales. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And I just want to point out he's extremely patient as we work in our new studio, so thank you for that. All right, we're going to talk about expectations, just as the two-time defending Class 6A champion. And what are those expectations, and how do you feel like the girls handle them?
The expectations for us is actually to win another state title. It becomes extremely difficult sometimes when you're being the person that has the target on your back. But I think overall we've handled it extremely well this season.
Well, and how much does it benefit you guys that you have, girls like Kyrie Rogers, Kendrian Elliott, and Erica Mattingly who have been there, Patrice Dodson, who have been there since, for most of those games?
Yeah, those young ladies play a important part of what we have going on strategic-wise. But just on and off the court, they've been tremendous as far as being leaders and actually helping some of the younger kids come along in a tough program that we run over there. So
we had talked before the season about some of the top players in the Wichita area, and of course Kendrian has made a commitment to go to K-State. Erica's going to Wichita State. They're both juniors. But talk about what it's like being one of the top players when you're also an upperclassman. You're a junior. You're not a freshman and sophomore. Is there a different level of experience that shows?
Well, I think just the more expectations that I have for them as players, we've kind of went beyond a little of the fundamental aspects when they're coming in and trying to be a freshman or sophomore. It's a lot more expectations that are exceeding, what we normally would require from them.
Talk about the mental part of the game too. We talked about just how that becomes more of an important thing for them to be able to deal with.
Yeah, the mental aspect. Every approach that we take to each game is from a mental approach. Physically, you've got to be involved as well, but the mental aspects of knowing what and what not to do all can play a key part in us being successful.
Talk individually about Kyrie and Kendrian and Erica and what they do bring for you guys, what their talent is.
Well, honestly, for Kyrie, she's a coach's dream from the athletic aspect. She's a game changer at any given time. We can maybe be in a good situation and she turns into a great situation. Kendrian inside presence is just, you have to take notice to her and you have to make a game plan around Kendrian at all times. And that's what she kind of experienced this year, getting double teamed a lot. But I'm proud of the way that she's responded as far as working hard in the midst of adversity. And Erica, of course, she's that coach on the court and a leader for us as far as making plays and defensively getting after it. So those young ladies, with the addition to Patrice Dodson, being a senior as well, and Kyra Ivy, they're a great talent as far as being able to help us for down the stretch.
Well, and talk about some of those younger players too, because you play some freshmen and sophomores as well.
Yeah, we got a sophomore core in Kyla Callens, Mari, of course, my daughter, and Destiny Pittman that can come in and do some good things. The expectations are starting to creep up on them, but it's still a learning process. And then we have the addition of two freshmen and Cassandra Pollard and Treasure Job that come in and do great things for us as well. So it's just going to be interesting down the stretch to see how those girls respond from a learning experience to help us as far as winning another state title.
Talk a little bit about coaching your daughter. I've talked to many coaches who that's an amazing experience, but it can create some difficulties too.
Yeah, it's tough. What I tell Mari a lot is you got to distinguish between on the court me being coach and not dad. And sometimes, for the biggest situation for a coach's kid is the disappointment aspects. And I just try to keep her, understanding that, hey, I'm trying to give you tough love, but in the aspect when I go home, it's just like, hey, you still my baby. So.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit, too. You lost to Andover Central at the Coke Arena for the City League AVCTL Challenge. Obviously, going unbeaten was a goal this year. Do you consider that a thing you just have to learn from, or how did you guys kind of respond to that?
Well, the learning aspect, I don't want to discredit Andover Central because Coach Jefferson, she did a great job with those young ladies. And they played hard and they out-hustled us, they outworked us in every aspect of that game. We had a lot of key critical things that cost us. You go into a game with 18 turnovers, and when your star group only contributes to 5 points in that game, it's kind of tough to win on any given night. But I was just more proud of the girls being able to bounce back characteristically after that tough loss and come back and beat a great team in Capon.
Talk now, you go into mid-season tournament, you head up to Topeka, and then it's on to state. Kind of what do you want to see from your team for the rest of the year?
Just consistency. Just working hard every single day. Of course, I'm a defensive-minded coach, so being able to defend and rebound is always going to be a great characteristic for our team to be successful. The Topeka tournament would allow us to go in there in a college atmosphere and bond well with young ladies from a family point of view. And you get 3 days up there with the kids, and of course, it's study hall, but it's also extracurricular activities, and we want to try to make the most of that opportunity.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching the VarsityKansas.com Big Show. And, Coach, thanks so much, and good luck to you the rest of the year.
Right.